River region, a different fertilizer, NPK 082424, was used without supplementary urea application. That the label on the sacks 1515 prompted beliefs that the fertilizer does not contain potassium and psychological inferences. This purported report was issued without the knowledge or consent of the Director General of NARI. The poor quality of the 2009 fertilizer had huge socio-economic and political implications, both for the poor farmers and the government. The rural farmers, who in most cases constitute the country's poorest of the poor, lost their hard-earned income to buy the fertilizer. Some of the farmers took loans to purchase the fertilizer, and these loans had to be repaid with interest. They therefore lost their money, the fertilizer, and their produce. The over-reliance on government for high-quality farm inputs and the eventual supply of this poor-quality fertilizer could whip up anti-government sentiments amongst the people with far-reaching political consequences. The Commission confirms that the supply of this agronomically ineffective fertilizer was a serious sabotage on government's drive towards food self-sufficiency. Your Excellency, the Commission believes that the decision or choice of the Ministry of Agriculture to award the procurement contract to an illiterate with little or no knowledge and experience in fertilizer issue must have been deliberate. From the totality of evidence adduced, the Commission found 9 individuals to bear the greatest responsibility for this scam. Their names are as follows: 1. Sidi Jaju, 2. Alhaji Bakari Trawali, 3. Momodu Lamin Sise, 4. Yusufa Jawara, 5. Dr. Mustafa Sise, 6. Keko Ikuyate, 7. Momodu Mbai Jabang, and 8. Momodu Jaite. The Commission also found 3 other persons for culpable conduct. They are Dr. Amadou Sow, Mrs. Awa Toure, and Chief Superintendent Biran Job. On the summary of recommendation, Your Excellency, in view of the above observation and findings, the Commission recommends that in the procurement of goods and services, open tender be encouraged as much as possible. That strong institutional measure is put in place to henceforth handle all contracts at the Ministry of Agriculture. That a contract of this complex magnitude should only be awarded to very experienced persons or organizations with strong reputation, knowledge and interest in fertilizer and all fertilizer-related issues. The Commission further recommends that the freeze assets of the suspects be forfeited to the state as a remedial measure, while criminal prosecution be instituted against them, both as punitive and deterrent measures. We believe in the establishment of a permanent anti-graft agency in the Gambia to serve as a permanent check to these corrupt practices. We invite the government to reflect on this proposal. Your Excellency, the setting up of this Commission of Inquiry is another eloquent testimony of Your Excellency's drive and commitment since July 22, 1994, towards good governance. You have lived and continue to live a truly inspirational and inspiring life of dedicated service and leadership to the people of the Gambia, rising above the limitations of a humble background of challenges to thrive in socio-political and economic governance. The phenomenal progress in socio-economic and political governance of the Gambia under the AFPRC and APRC-led government, of which you are the general overseer, clearly testifies to God's hand upon your life and your productive leadership qualities. Today, the Gambia remains a stable and democratic state. Your credible victory, your landslide victory at the November 2011 presidential polls was therefore a foregone conclusion. We take this opportunity to warmly congratulate you for that magnificent feat and to wish you well and God's guidance into this feat. Thank you very much.
I now invite Honorable Justice Nkia to hand over the Commission's report to His Excellency the President. With Your Excellency's kind permission, I'd like to call on Mr. Alhaji Sow to make a remark.
To be quite candid, I believe I lack words to express my profound gratitude to Your Excellency for the trust, the honor, and confidence bestowed on me from time immemorial, because I have been in the system since 1960. I have served my career as a civil servant, retiring up in 1997, finally. In fact, I would have blown it all out, but well, due to time factor, but I'll try to be brief. Upon my retirement, then the late M.B. Wada was Secretary General, present memory. When I wrote to give him my notice that I was retiring statutorily, he didn't hasten to picking up his telephone by getting back to me to the Smaraka in vernacular. Yeah, gonna hamne do munadem. Well, then I have to fulfill my the legal requirement, the statutory pensions. So he said, then leave your line free. Then Your Excellency, with all due respect, sir, you are then the chairman, the FERC. Then within seconds, he got back to me, called me, then he was really in a very amusing mood. The late Mr. Wada. He said, I've been directed by the chairman to invite you to the State House, because he has asked me to review to you and put it in a way that, well, if I cannot, then let me get you over to State House so that we go up to him so that he will tell you. I said, with your Secretary General, I would want to know, because I don't know, but I think definitely I would have liked to proceed on my leave. Well, I had almost accumulated 1 year's leave. So he said, but then listen, the good news is His Excellency had indicated you are not moving an inch, and we've given directives to the then Director of Treasury, Ms. Keter, to encash your 1 year's leave for you. The civil servant who had served up to the end of his career and having his leave entitled and cast for him, I think it's a special blessing. Ko anyanu ne radio. Doctor. To put it in a nutshell, I have, from our experiences from the colonial era, the First Republic, definitely I've never ever, in fact, I think by virtue of my age, I have never ever seen a leader so committed, so dedicated, and much more so with the fear of God. You know, because if you look at it, it is really not that it is impossible, because for us, we are seeing things very differently now. Because you don't mince your words. In fact, upon the assumption of power in 1994, I would always highlight this in international fora, that with us we have a military coup, but it was a military coup with a big difference. Because it's not just by decoration, but I had to really read a bit of history to the international community that, well, here, for real democracy, this country has genuinely started enjoying this thing when you took over power. So our prayers for you. So keep it up, because really, I am the ombudsman. This office had never existed, not during the colonial, let alone the First Republic. We knew what used to happen. Your Excellency, the people of this country... There was no ombudsman during the colonial period? No. So this is great. We'll highlight this, say, well, in fact, for democracy, real democracy, it had come during your time. Well, excuse me, sir, because normally soldiers are not associated with them. What we are saying, for all rules there are exemptions. Yes, we have to, because you see, that's why we are very popular.